Hello everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the ISL Roundup presented by Radio Club in a collaboration with the ISL. Since the last time we've had a total of 7 sports play out, and as you can see there's been like a dramatic shift in the points table with the Sultans inching close towards the Mavericks and the Hukum still maintaining a lead, although a shrinking one. We have with us today 3 of our campus guns who have been MVPs and instrumental in winning some sports for their respective teams. We have Dhruv from the Mavericks, who's been like a star player for them, like in squash and pool. We have Kanika, ace runner, winner of the 100 meters and the 5K for tracks. And we have Prayas, who's the Sultans cricket team captain, dominating win in cricket by the Sultans. What's up guys, how's your experience been so far?
The experience has been great. Of course, this is, I think, this is the first time when I've participated in a tournament with multiple sports across. And earlier, whatever tournaments we've played, obviously we've focused on one particular sport, but this time it's very, very different. The difference also comes in from the management aspect, because earlier you would probably, depending on the sport, manage a team of say 5 players, 10 players, 15 players. Now you're looking at 96 players, you're looking at least from our cohort, you're looking at like what, 40 players from the cohort, 50 alums. Managing all of them together, drawing out your squads for every sport and ensuring players are not burnt out, ensuring everybody is practicing, and also on the other side ensuring that people are taking the sport very seriously, whatever sports they are following or whatever sports are their responsibility.
So for me also it's been great. I never thought that I would get another chance to participate in track events, because usually like people play sports but track events is something that doesn't happen normally. So yeah, I'm glad ISL gave me this opportunity, and yeah, now I'm assuming that I'll get a chance to come next year as well, participate in both Hyderabad and
I think you can count on that.
So yeah, I think that's something I'm gonna look forward to.
Yeah, so for me, like, probably cricket has been my main sport for as long as I can remember. And as in not had many major events for cricket. So I was rather calm throughout, because, like, how do you potentially even show people that you'll be able to win or you're not able to win? So it's more about just backing myself and, like, as a team, just making sure that throughout the process it was just about, because no one had seen how you play. So everything is in the air, right? So whatever probably I have played or any other player has played, we had chances to show football, basketball, pool or TT, because it's a very quick sport, people can see. Cricket is something which is not there on campus. I feel that was something which was very different, because people didn't know that, let's say, how I play or how anyone else plays. So for me that was very important, and I had come with the reputation that I want to take my team home. And
one more thing I would like to add is, you get a chance to interact with a lot of adults. And through sports, that the bonding that happens through sports it's amazing.
Yeah, and we've had some like star albums, right? So like we didn't know about like any of these. Like for me personally, like I am also one of the team owners for the ISL.
Disclaimer.
But this is in no way a biased podcast.
clearly,
But yeah. So I didn't know about like any of these albums, right? And I like when I was going into the bidding process, I thought that this is the talent that our cohort has like in these particular sports. But like because I didn't know about any of these albums, I thought कि मतलब कितना ही value add करेंगे.
Exactly.
But हाँ मतलब like going through like these last 4-5 weeks, I've just noticed that like how much like value they're adding. I'm sure you guys are gonna go get bid for sky high prices next year.
I'm not.
Alright, so guys, I have a question. So the last podcast we were talking to team owners, and they told us, like, we were a couple of weeks into ISL, and they told us that not much has gone by the plan, that like there's too much dynamism in the structure of ISL that you can't control a lot of the variables. But for you three, like specifically why we wanted to talk to you is, a lot of the things have gone to plan. That like these sports that you have respectively participated in, you've come out victorious, and you've all 3 of you rather win one convincingly over all of these sports. So what has that experience been like? What was the strategy? What was the plan? And like, was it all as breezy as it seems, or like were there challenges that you had to face? Anyone wants to.
you know, it wasn't breezy for sure.
Right.
It wasn't breezy because, at least from my point of view, if there are multiple sports, or even from their point of view, there are multiple sports, your strategy changes for every sport.
Right.
Now, this new strategy needs to come immediately after the last game is over. Now, you need to shift gears from, say, from squash to pool, or say, from 100 meters to 5K. The entire mindset, the mentality changes. And you barely have any time to make that switch, to absorb what you need to do for the next sport, practice that for 4 days, and then deliver on the 5th day. So it's not breezy, but the good part is that I think the spirit among the 3 teams and their players is, from a larger sports perspective, it has been very supportive.
People on field should feel like they're important, because I feel like sports is ultimately about making people feel as a leader, your aim.
One question I had with regards pool youth group was that you guys faced Sultans in the league, and you guys, I think, lost 2-0 or 3-0 if I'm not wrong. And then 3-0 and coming back, winning the finals 2-0 speaks volumes, right? And this is not the first time we've seen it this ISL. This has happened like multiple times by you guys, by
Hukums,
by
and one football.
Yeah, correct. So do you have any viewpoints on like moments like those, like pre-final discussions, like
In pool specifically, what had happened was that, on paper we were a stronger team because of the representations that we had and because of the alum that we had. The issue was, which we did not foresee in the league match, was that 2 out of the 3 players that we were snooker players. And the game sense, the dynamics are very different on a pool.
Correct.
It's a smaller game, it's a shorter game, 5 minutes max. And the level of the game plan that Sultans had was far better during the league games. And when we lost 3-0, that is when I realized that, okay, what we do on the snooker table is something that we can't do here. We can't go all guns blazing and try and pot every ball because table chota aur main kar sakta hu. So, I did a few practice rounds with one another. That is when, and in those practice rounds, we told each other that we're not going to pot the ball at all. I'm giving you a potting angle, but you're not going to pot. You're going to play safe. Show me how you're going to, overcome your strategy of snooker and understand what you need to do on a pool table. So that's
amazing and like so interesting that you guys just discovered this flaw that you had in the game like hours before the finals and practically solved it. And like that's been happening quite a bit, and it's amazing to see how that materializes, right? Because the league standings at this point are so close that it's anyone's game. Like in 15 points can make like a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best part about ISB as well. The diversity here is such that people have, that a lot of us have that sports background also. So thinking on our feet, on the move is something that we've probably been conditioned to do.
Right. So Kanika, before you were participating in athletics, I think everybody knew that you were going to be winning the few races that we have. So what is your background and what is your experience been like in ISL now?
Okay, so till now, like before ISB, I've won like 29 medals from my school, college, and everything. And with ISL, that's my 31st medal. So yeah. So track events was very important for Hukums, and I was expected to win all the 3 events: 100 meters relay, and like my team, and then 5K. So I practiced volleyball a lot, but the owners did not want me to play volleyball because in case I get injured, I won't be able to run 5K. So I respected their decision. That okay, I understand that, and a lot of planning went into it. They were like, we took like 2 hours, and we finally came to this conclusion that we are not playing volleyball. So I was kind of sad, but then I understand it.
What's the history? What's the background behind like the sportsman spirit, the sports person that you are?
Okay, so I've been an athlete since my childhood. I first participated in the track events in class 8th or 9th, I think, and there were 8 races on a single day. I won all the 8 races. And after that, I was part of college athletics team, and I used to play for these tournaments. I went to IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, and all. Like every semester, I used to go for a tournament. So, and my coach never allowed me to play any other sport. I used
Similar to team owners.
I love playing badminton, but then every time he saw me on the badminton court, he used to tell me to go and run.
Don't break your ankle.
Yeah. And there was a time when, like the first 5K I ran, I fainted after running that 5K. So yeah, I started from in college.
View that you guys have on that, and like, do you think that like going forward, like ahead, like maybe sports club can take that initiative up upon themselves, and like if you guys were to organize the ISL, like would you have done it in a different way? Than any other sport that you might think you could have added, or just general views on this?
Beer pong nights.
So one thing I said, and like looking back, I feel like they've done a very, very good job to be very respectful and honest. They've done a fairly good job. Obviously, I feel like in my personal view that sports club should obviously be the one organizing it. If not leading it, then obviously be in the organization thing, because there were always these elements which I saw in different type of sports where I felt like there was a lack of game sense. For example, cricket is 10 overs. Now, if I had a discussion post. Obviously, I'm not an owner, so I was only participating as a player, and I was like, it doesn't make sense to have a 10 overs game with a leather ball. So you either have a 10 overs game with a Costco ball, or you have a 20 overs or 15 overs game. 10 overs game is you're minimizing the odds so much. I feel like with respect to the rules, I feel like that's something which obviously we or going forward people can be.
So time constraint, like what it adds to the dynamics of the sport is like what you.
I think ISL team did a pretty well job. The thing that happened this year was they didn't get much time to film the videos. So it was quite off time. Otherwise, they tried to include us in everything, but also they did not want to reveal the rules. But they could have.
You're part of teams,
individuals. So they tried to do it, but because of lack of time, we missed.
But I guess you're going to be Adams as well in the future. So like, hopefully you'll be more.
Hopefully we'll pass out and we'll be
20 days to go, but like
there's still a lot of ground to clear.
More courses.
I was standing about 8-9 XSEs to dollars.
Okay, any parting thoughts? Anything that you guys would like to say on behalf of your teams going forward? Because now the competition is closed down like very much, and it's pretty much like anyone's game like at this point of time.
Yeah.
So
Three more sports.
Sports.
These three are quite.
So I think for
Hukum's the leaders.
for Hukum's, frisbee is very important. It's like I think that will be a decision maker, and so we look forward to win frisbee.
Then Mavericks, hoping to extend your lead.
Yeah, hoping to extend our lead. Obviously, we're not in as comfortable a position as Hukum's, and all due credit to Sultan also for inching very, very close. So that's just added on a bit of pressure. But I think we have a fairly strong team in all three sports coming forward, and very positive on badminton and tennis. Frisbee, badminton I'll take part. Tennis I very closely follow, but frisbee is something that I haven't seen. But we've been told that at least the ones who are there in the scheme of things, we've been told that we've got a fairly strong team. So I mean, yes, it's anybody's game right now. The best part is that the three sports remaining teams are equally balanced. So these would be nail-biting finishes. So best team wins. But it's going to be very exciting the next 2 weeks for sure. It's not a one-sided game in any sport.
And I feel like talking about Sultan, we had an incredible weekend this time because we won 2 out of the 3 sports, technically
Heavy ones.
water polo and cricket. And more than that, I feel like Sultan as a team lost out on a couple of sports by very thin margins with due respect to other teams. Probably a couple of sports which we should have won, we didn't. That's all looking in the hindsight. But going forward, we have some very nice momentum. And as they said, that like the teams are very well balanced, whether it be frisbee, tennis, badminton. I'm not very well aware of, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good competition.
It is unlike.
It's going to be a good competition. But more than that, I feel like looking forward, I feel our growth story will not be progressed by whether we finish third or first or second. I feel like it's the fight that we show and that we've been showing, despite like our team has been regarded as underdogs, as whatever by a lot of individuals. But I feel like the way we've shown, like as right as a matter of fact, the first sport, how we started football, and we went on to the finals, when in finals for example, sort of players, and at the same point in time to this, let's say water polo, cricket. I feel like our whole story will be determined by not how we finish, but like the kind of enthusiasm and grit that we've shown across. I feel like that's how we'll end, and like across for all like teams.
All in all, it's gonna be like it has been an amazing experience, and it's gonna be a nail biting thing because last year someone told me that Hukum's was leading all the way.
Sort of repeating itself is what I've heard.
But this time, I really hope this time I really hope that we win because Hukum's hasn't won ISL so far. So this time we'll create history.
And just to add one small thing, like day before, when for example for me as a cricketer, like I got to finish the match of the last ball 6. That's something that, like, as a memory, I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
I remember that match. He was wanting to belt that ball. I knew that he just wants to finish it with a 6. The moment he gave at full toss, I saw the ball whack to it.
More than that, I feel like, so for me, the final was, I had cramps and I had hurt my knee and I was low on stamina, very dehydrated. All my other batsmen had basically, Akshat had walked off, Shani had walked off, Arun had walked off, KB had walked off. All my batsmen who I was looking for to probably play with, all of them had walked off. I had immense pressure, a lot of things happening on the field. But more than that, the thing was that I think all of us probably will have our own set of set pieces that for me, like the fact that someone even recorded that moment. I probably watched that video 100 times just for me. Like, I just watched it and I feel like this is something that probably I'll be telling my kids if I were to have them someday and be like, that's what your father's doing. And like, these are things which you get to take for life, and probably just to think of it, it's very difficult to replicate it again. And I think that's what's the beauty of the moment, that it stays with you and you will never be able to probably recreate it. And that's the part which is incredible.
Alright, I think that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for joining us for today's episode.
Thanks for the
lovely conversation.
Yeah, stay tuned for more.